Hello, booktube friends. What's going on? um, I'll tell you a little bit about what's going on with me personally. I mean, if you've been waiting with bated breath for my next video, which I don't think anyone is. But anyway, there are some loyal subbies who might be concerned. Definitely leave me a comment if you've been wondering where I am. Or if you're new, say hello. I'm not like crying, like I'm okay. This is not supposed to be. No, it's fine. Like, it's early in the morning. It's 6 a.m. That's me in better times. It's 6 a.m. And you know how like sometimes when you wake up, your nose is running, your eyes are watery, blah, blah, blah. So you guys know that I work in a school and that it's August, so it's almost time to go back to school. Been doing a lot of stuff to get ready for that, and then I'm also in grad school, blah blah blah, and getting ready for that too. And then personal family stuff. Someone close to me has gotten sick and been at the hospital and helping take care of them, blah blah blah. So I'm not gonna put all of that out there because that's like the person who it is like very private. I'm not even gonna say like what relative it is. You know, they're very private. So, I'm not gonna say anything about that. But anyway, so I've just been really busy. Like, of course I've been stressed and like emotional about it, but I've mostly been too busy to film and just not a good time. But I have been like reading and listening to books and stuff. So I thought I would come on here and talk about that. Because I have some controversial opinions. Let's just start with the last booktube video I made, which was about the other black girl. I think my opinion on that was medium controversial. If you don't remember this book right here, I made a video and I said, should I DNF it? Like, should I just stop reading this? Because I'm like, I don't like it. It's not really suspenseful. I don't get what she's trying to do. It's kind of basic, like, oh, being a token isn't great. Like, it was kind of basic to me, like, in terms of the, like, racial conversations that it touched on. Like, I think, yeah, it's important to have those conversations, but I just feel like, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of, like, the racial aspect was really basic. The work aspect was really repetitive. We were a third of the way in, and I was like, come on now. Okay, anyway. So I made a video and I asked you guys, what is your opinion? Should I DNF it? First of all, shame on everyone because that video got like 140 views, which I was shocked. I have not gotten that many booktube views ever in life. And then next, I got one kind of disgruntled comment. It was like, you just did it. Let me read the comment actually. And I got one dislike on a video. Now, the most dislikes I've ever gotten on a video is like 2. And that's not because my content is so likable. It's just because people just don't bother to leave a dislike. I guess they just click away. Where is she at? This lady, I'm going to call her out by name, Jill Jackson. She said, wow, you really didn't understand the book. Why give a review? Did you read it? It took several moments for you to even figure out the name of the other black girl, Hazel. And I was just like, I don't understand. I feel like she's saying that I didn't read it because I couldn't remember the girl's name. Agree to disagree. I mean, I don't remember a lot of people's name. I don't remember the main character's name at this point. But it's been 2 weeks, to be fair. And I just commented back to her, like, and I was like, I wasn't making a review actually. I was asking for people's opinions. I was asking you guys, should I DNF? Because I wasn't really feeling it. And then, well, this is me paraphrasing what I wrote. And then I was literally asking for input and more perspective. So what did you think? Did you like it? And she never replied. She never said, like, give it a chance, follow all the way through to the end. She didn't say that. She didn't even listen to what I was saying. And then I was like, well, I hope that the 143 people who watched the video actually listened to what I was trying to say, but we'll see. So that was my medium controversy. My controversial opinion that at least one person gave a dislike. I think that's kind of funny. I don't mind if people leave a dislike or like disgruntled comment. I'm not bothered by that too much. That's okay. I used to have I went through this period where I would have there was one person disliking every video and then they just disappeared, I guess. Because now most of my videos don't get a dislike. Anyway, another controversial opinion. I don't think this is a controversial opinion. Let's talk about cozy mysteries for a second. I think this is a controversial opinion just because, no, you know what? I'm going to just leave that for another video. But I want to talk about this book in another video. Because I think this author is really sexist and disgusting and no one's talking about it. But I'm going to move on from that. I'm just going to... Now, the real controversial opinion. This controversial book has become kind of like a comfort read to me. It's really weird that I would say that. I don't usually reread books a lot. And you know how people reread Harry Potter because it's their comfort read? Have you heard of that? You guys know what that is. You guys are experienced booktube, bookstagram people. You know all the tea. Yes, I'm have my sleep shirt next to me, please. Just ignore. I'm obviously sitting on a bed. I'm obviously not in my apartment. This is not my apartment, but I'm sitting on the bed. That's why I'm filming at 6 a.m. because then I have to go and do other things. Anyway, this book right here, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called In the Closet of the Vatican. And I honestly want to make another video just about that book as well. It's become a comfort read to me. I listened to it late June. Thought I heard something. Late June, early July. And I listened to it for 2.5 weeks because it's 20 hours long. And I loved it. I think I gave it 5 stars. Hold on. I think I gave it 4 stars. I don't think that it was perfect. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. But in the last 2 weeks, I've started listening to it again. Why? It's not I forgot that much. I just listened to it. It's a comfort read. I just love hearing I'm listening to the audiobook first of all. And the audiobook is anyway, so I found it. So I've been listening to it on Audible. The audiobook, I can't get it, it's so white. The audiobook is only available on Audible, which I don't really love Audible because I tried not to get Audible for a long time because I'm oh, screw Amazon, blah, blah, blah. But I'm sorry, this book is so good and I'm listening to it a second time because the narrator is this guy named John Banks. I don't know who this is. He's I think he's British. He's British. Just from his accent, I'm guessing, I can tell he's British. And it's written by this author is Frederic Martel. And between these two men, between the voice, the narrative voice of the writer and the performance of John Banks, the book is addicting to me. And then mix it in with the controversial. I'm Catholic, so I'm somewhat invested in what's going on. What's going on is hardly ever good. If you're Catholic or non-Catholic, that's the truth. Just let the truth be known. That's the truth. But I'm just listening to this again and again, I can't get enough. It's so good. Like all the details, all the interviews, all the setup. It's told. He writes the book in the style of kind of narrative journalism, where it tells like, I was here, this is the day, this is how this sets up the scene. Then it has like the conversation and the dialogue, and you know, he sets it up. He sets everything up. And I don't know what's going on with my voice. It sounds like I have a sore throat. But he sets everything up so well, and I love it. And I'm so fascinated by his argument that he makes in the book. So essentially, you're probably like, after the rave review, I'm going to tell you the summary. Essentially, his argument is that the Catholic clergy, especially the higher ups, not including them, especially them. There's a lot of gay men in the clergy of the Catholic Church, tons apparently. He says, I think he says something like 60 to 80% or something like at some point. And for many decades, the sin, put it in quotation marks, the sin of homosexuality has never been separated from the sin of, you know, crimes against children. So the core root of so many issues of the church comes from all these men who are gay and in the closet, because they can't separate their own self-loathing over their sexuality from the pedophiles and push the pedophiles out. That is like kind of the core of his argument. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not something that I'm not crying over it. Like I said, it's early in the morning. I'm just in that watery eye thing. But like, that's the core of his argument. And it sounds really serious, and it is. But before he gets to like the really, really dark stuff, he just goes through and analyzes the culture of secrecy and closetedness and homophobia and all of his kind of interviews, conversations, and theories and research about how everyone's gay. And I just, not everyone, but a lot of people are gay, allegedly, in the clergy of the church. Bishops, cardinals, several former popes, apparently, all the way to pope. It's just so good. I'm just so fascinated with his writing style. Again, his writing style combined with the narrator, it's incredible. And also the content, also the conversation. He details gay Catholic writers throughout history, you know, the details of the last pope was gay, details over how they have relationships and how they have relations without the shit, with, you know, professionals, people who have professional relations with people, professional physical relations with people. Call boys, okay? Let me just say it. He details, like, he interviews sex workers around Rome, which is like around the Vatican. It's a lot. I mean, what else? He spends like an early chapter in the book. I almost called it a novel. He spends an early chapter in the book discussing, what is his name? I forgot his name. This guy. I literally have pictures on my phone of this guy because I sent them to my mother. I didn't tell her why I was sending them. What is his name? He's like one of the most homophobic priests. This guy. forget his name. I cannot believe I forgot his name. I cannot believe I forgot his name. That's so annoying to me right now. But anyway, he's kind of like Burke. Bishop Cardinal Burke. Former cardinal now. That's what you get. That's what you get. He's super homophobic. He's super homophobic. And he was kind of bullying him over how ridiculous his outfits are. And like Pope Francis, if you ever see him, he's like wearing mostly like white. And like either white with just like the red around the top or all black. He dresses very simple because he's a Jesuit, okay? Simple. But this guy is like all pomp and circumstance. You know, Pope Francis is telling people to stop wearing the Kappa Magna. You see him rolled around in all these fancy outfits. And I think part of the controversy of this book is that like this is the Kappa Magna. So the Magna means, you know, gigantic in Latin somehow. Anyway, so part of the controversy of this book is like people are like, none of this is proven. He's just saying a bunch of stuff. You know, it's all gossip and hearsay and all this kind of stuff. And I do think the book has flaws, and that's why I give it 4 stars instead of 5. I do think some of it comes across like he has not been sued over this book, is what I want to say. So anyone who he says said something on the record, and he says a lot of names, they could have come out and made a statement or sued at any time. None of them have. But on the other hand, he makes so many claims in this book that if I was a journalist and I wanted to debunk this book in some way, it would take me years. I mean, it took him years to write it. It took him like 4 years, he said, of interviewing and writing it. That's what he said. So, I don't know. And then those are the main criticisms. And another criticism is you can't like look at Burke, okay? You can't look at this man in his redonkulous frou-frou outfit and say, hey, that guy looks a little queer to me. You can't say that. I think that's part of the criticism is also that. Like, no, that's not legitimate. That's not a legitimate analysis of someone to be like, hey, look at your outfit. You look like a queen. Like, that's... And he does. And here's the next thing. Another thing that could be probably a criticism is that Frederic Martel has kind of an attitude, and the book has a certain sense of humor to it, like a certain sly wit to it, which is also why I find it so enjoyable and addictive. And people probably think like, I can't take you seriously. You're just criticizing people. You're just criticizing people for sport. You're just critiquing people and making fun of people for sport. The book is not infallible, and the book is not perfect, but it's so good. I would recommend if you're interested or your curiosity is piqued, I would say listen to it. I'm listening to it for a second time. And yeah, I really want to make a separate video on it too. I'm not done talking about it. There's more things that are like my favorite things out of it. I really want to get into and make a video about, apparently Pope Benedict had like a lover, had like his right-hand man was like allegedly his lover and boyfriend. He's still alive, so allegedly is his lover and boyfriend, and they're like in love, and he did all this stuff. Okay, I'm getting too many details, but like that's a separate video. But I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Obviously, I'm obsessed because listening to it a second time. I never reread books, honestly. Hardly ever. Rarely ever do I reread books. And I'm re-listening to this because I'm like, oof. I don't know, man. Okay, thank you for watching. Tell me what you're reading. If you've made it this far, please tell me what you're reading. I ask you guys to leave comments and you don't. You ignore me. You play right in my face. Goodbye.